Right.
There we go. Let me, my computer wasn't working for some reason or another. So I had to use my wonderful iPad. So.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
There we go.
Okay. So I'm going to need to see your body.
Okay. So the body. So let's try to do that.
Yeah. I'm all the way down to your feet.
All the way down to the feet. All right. So we can do that. I'm trying to finagle this here so we can, I wonder, oh, there we go. Sorry about that. One more thing. MacGyver in it right now, man.
I missed that show. He didn't age well, man.
Tell him my age here, MacGyver. Hopefully, let me see. Let's see. Hopefully, this is.
It's definitely not pointing low enough.
Nope. Okay, so let's do that there. Hang on. Didn't think it was gonna be try this thing. Sorry about this, bud. I didn't think that it would be would have this crazy issue. I think the only best way.
Yeah, that'll work.
That'll work?
Yep, that'll work.
Is it, okay.
No,
it's not too far away.
No, that'll work.
Okay.
All right. So for a moment, let me explain to you what I'm doing and why, and so you kind of have a clear picture, and then you're going to get up and start doing this stuff right away. Okay. So long story short, what I've been doing is trying to leverage a lot of things that people do naturally in their swings and get them to feel more athletic and dynamic and rather than position oriented and all of these things. So I'm trying to speed up the learning process. So what I've come up with is a very novel way of understanding the golf swing as a whole, so that you don't look at it as, you know, chunking together a takeaway and a backswing and a transition and a downswing and an impact and a release and all of those things. It's one holistic motion. And so the way I'm going to teach it to you is very, very different than anything you probably ever heard of or thought of. So I want your feedback the whole time. Anything that pops into your head, good or bad, that's what the purpose of this is. It helps me understand what resonates, what doesn't, what needs to be made more clear, what doesn't. So this is you and I going back and forth a bit, but I'm going to explain something to you. So as we go through this, at first, it's going to seem very odd and bizarre. And then as you walk through it, it's going to start to all make more sense. Okay?
Sounds great.
Do you have you don't need a club just yet, but you will in just a bit. Do you have a club as well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so stand up so I can see you, whole body. And if you have shoes on, take them off. Doesn't look like
shoes off.
Okay, perfect. So here's this is the biggest thing that I want you to understand and do first, okay? So as long as you can see me, I don't know if you can see my feet, okay? Here's what I want you to imagine. And I'm going to take my shoe off for a second. Okay. So you're going to focus solely on your right foot right now. Okay. And what you're going to do is move your pressure around. If you can see me, I'm going to draw it around my shoe. Your pressure is going to go around the edge of your right foot. Okay. Okay. You're just going to do this. So watch me. So my pressure is like on my toe, goes to the outside of my foot, back to my heel, to the inside, to the ball, to the big toe. And it's just working in a circle.
Gotcha.
Perimeter of my foot. Got that?
Yep, got it.
Okay. So I want you just to do that for a moment and just focus on the pressure, right? You're just moving it from one side to the other, around in a circle, kind of hitting every part of the perimeter of your foot.
Gotcha. Okay? Yeah. Yep.
Pretty simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you're doing this, you're focusing just on the perimeter of your foot, but the rest of your body is also moving, right?
Correct.
what direction is everything moving?
The direction that I'm putting the pressure on my foot.
Okay. Is it clockwise or counterclockwise?
Clockwise.
Clockwise, all right? So that's what I want you to gather, is that you're moving clockwise. Now you'll notice.
Uh-oh. I'll leave. I think I lost you there, Chuck. Can you hear me, buddy? Can you hear me okay? There we go. Oh, Chuck. There we go.
Hey, sorry about that. I think my internet dropped out there.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're good now, right? Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I can hear you now. Fine, perfectly good. Yeah. Kind of going clockwise on my right foot there.
Okay.
Going around.
So the point to this initial process is that you're really just thinking about moving pressure around the outside of your foot. But as you move away from your foot, other parts are moving more, right? So your knee is also moving in a small but bigger circle because your foot's not moving at all, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, but what is your hip doing? It's moving a little bit more than your knee, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the movement that you're focusing on, and that's what we want to talk about, the thing that you're feeling and that you're doing is just this little movement around your foot, but it gets your whole body moving in this clockwise circle, okay?
Okay.
So as you start to do this, I want you just to imagine it's like a merry-go-round. And you're just going around and around in a circle in this merry-go-round, okay? Okay. Now, at some point, we want to kick off the merry-go-round. And so as we do that, the timing of that is when we get up onto the ball of our foot. So as we get back to the inside and to the big toe, what I want you to do is then get off the merry-go-round. The way that you do that is that you switch from this clockwise motion to then taking your knee, pushing off your big toe and moving the knee kind of toward the target. There you go.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Boom.
So now you've shifted weight to the left very easily, right?
Right.
And as you're doing this, if you go back to just this merry-go-round motion, you'll notice that the weight is also moving around your left foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's moving in a circle.
Yep.
So at some point, when we go to get off the merry-go-round and we drive off that big toe, our left hip starts to post up, right? So we move that weight from the pressure on the big toe on the right foot helps move the weight onto the heel of the left foot.
Yeah, totally does.
When you do this from down the line, you'll see I'm moving in the circle in this merry-go-round. Just relax your hips, let them just move. But then as I get to this point in the backswing, as I get to where I'm on my heel, my right heel, my hips are deep, right? So this is how you maintain your tush line, is that as you move back, your weight goes deeper into this heel. And then as you start to get off the merry-go-round, as you move onto the ball of the foot, it moves your left hip out of the way. So you can see you never lose your posture when you do it this way. When you lose your posture, you tend to like push off your right hip or you're firing your arms the wrong way. So instead, as you're going in the circle, you're back and then boom, you've got the clamshell drill, right? Your left hip goes back and deep and you're posted up.
Yep. Oh, man. Boom.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So you should start to feel how this could be, you know, we're exaggerating this. This movement happens very quick in the swing, right?
Right.
But you should start to feel how your legs can move and feel athletic and powerful and quick and dynamic again. And all you're focusing on is moving your weight around the perimeter of your right foot. That's it. You're not thinking about anything else. So you're on the merry-go-round, and when you're ready to get off, you get off.
Yeah, that's amazing. Here, get off.
All right.
Yeah, your hip totally shifts. Yeah.
And you're focusing on one very simple thing. It's just a feeling, right? It's not a mechanical thing. It's not a bunch of positions. It's one feeling. And the key to it is the clockwise motion. Most people think about the golf swing, especially the important part, the downswing, as counterclockwise movement, right? Because you've turned back and then everybody thinks, okay, turn my hips and shoulders counterclockwise, right?
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
It makes sense. But the truth is you only want to be moving clockwise. You got to move in the opposite direction of what you think you're supposed to be doing. And if you do that solely focusing on moving in the opposite direction around your right foot, your hip, your knee, your everything begins to work the correct way, and it feels fluid and dynamic. Now, let's put the arm in there because we haven't talked about the arms. I want to integrate everything all at once. So how do we get the arms to work with this? So now what I want you to do, you're going to be a guitar hero, right?
Okay.
You get to be the best air guitarist on the planet. So what you're going to do at first, you're just going to keep focusing on this, right? It's all the movement. It's just moving around in the circle. We're just going to stay on the merry-go-round for a minute. And then I want you to take your right hand and just move it also in a clockwise circle, like this in front of you. You're going to be strumming, man. You're really going to be rocking out here, right? There you go.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep.
So now, what I want you to do in terms of the synchronicity of this is as your right hand kind of gets to the top and it begins to transition back, your weight should be moving away from your heel as this happens.
Oh, like.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So now, what you should find when your hand is here and you're on your heel and you're moving back toward the ball of the foot, as the hand shallows, as you get onto the big toe, that's when you release. And that's when everything shifts to counterclockwise. And all you really need to think about is just your, driving off the big toe, and then your hand, your right hand, then coming in and rotating this way, right at the last second. That's the release, right?
Right.
But throughout the whole backswing, you're just thinking about moving your hand, your elbow, your shoulder, the club, everything in a clockwise circle.
Oh, yeah. Boom. Oh, yeah. That's like, wow. It's like crazy. So here.
There you go.
Wow.
All right. Now grab a golf club.
Oh, that's crazy. Hey. Okay.
Okay, so now watch for me for just a second. I don't want you to think about backswing, any of that stuff. What I want you to think about is moving in a clockwise circle. Just your right hand and your right foot, and that's it, okay? So now, as you go back, I'm just putting this together, right? I'm trying to do it so you can see my feet, so obviously this thing's black, but so I'm just doing this, right? And I'm just trying to get the synchronicity of how my hand would move in this arc and how it would work with me moving the weight around the perimeter of my foot. I can put my left hand on there and it starts to look like a golf swing. In fact, right now is a big exaggeration. Of course, all of this is big exaggeration, and it's not something that I want you to try and do exactly specific. Like, okay, my weight's moving like exactly around the perimeter of my foot. It's a feeling. It's just to help you get the feeling of the direction that your body's actually supposed to move in the backswing, okay? So as you're doing this, you can see I can kind of make like a Matthew Wolf kind of swing, right? Just pick the club up. Doesn't really matter where it goes in the backswing. The only thing that matters is that my hand continues on this clockwise path. Now you'll see most golfers, and you included, as you tended to get your hands deep going back and it threw you off balance. Now none of this works right anymore, right? So now you're actually moving your hands in what kind of path?
Ah, yeah. Clockwise. Counterclockwise.
From your perspective, as you're looking at it, it would be counterclockwise, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is what causes every single problem in the golf swing. If you switch it to clockwise, then no matter what you do, the club will always shallow out and come down on plane. You can't
Oh,
see
yeah.
you can't get your, I can see you're chomping at the bit to try it.
Yo, man, that is incredible. Yeah, that's
turn down the line for me.
Okay. Can you see it okay there?
Yep.
Okay. So this will be counterclockwise.
Oh, that would be clockwise, right?
That'd be clockwise. No, that's clockwise. Sorry.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, man.
Now do that with your weight. Never lose that movement around the right foot. Now let your hands start to move this way, like you're making to a backswing, right? It's kind of going not directly in front of you. It's going like you're making a backswing. So your hand should go deeper.
No, that's clockwise.
Backwards. There you go. Get those hands like you're making a backswing. Get them deep. Watch me for a second.
Okay.
What you're doing is this. Okay. That's just kind of sitting right in front of you. Think more this way, right? We're making a ball swing. Your hand's got to get back here. It's this clockwise direction.
Gotcha. So I'm like almost turning towards you like this.
Yeah.
Like this.
You're making a golf swing, right? There you go.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. Oh, man. That's crazy. That totally feels like it feels very fluid, very yes, the best way I can explain it, like more not choppy, more really fluid, like incredibly fluid. I don't know why, that's the best way I can.
That's the goal, right? Is to have a dynamic blended motion without having to think takeaway, backswing position, etc.
Yeah.
It's the clockwise motion that keeps everything moving together and makes it natural and athletic without you having to think about it. And the important thing is that the movement starts from very small, right? We're just trying to move pressure around the perimeter of our foot. But the foot is like a vortex generator. A vortex is, like a spiraling circle that gets bigger as it gets further away from the source. So when you think about it, this little tiny movement moves your whole body. And it starts very, very small. That's the part you're responsible for, right? That's all you got to do. If you can just move your weight around the perimeter of your foot, you've got this. Because then the knee will move a little bit more and the hip will move a little bit more. And then all of a sudden your pelvis, instead of being locked and frozen in, it's just moving in response to this clockwise motion of your foot. So now when you start to feel how your hips should naturally move in the swing, and you put this with your right arm going back behind you, now all of a sudden it's very easy to get the club to not go inside, stay out in front of you, and shallow out so that you have something to release at the bottom. And so what happens, and I'm going to send you a video to watch after this that gets into that stuff a little bit more depth that I'll want your feedback on. But what you'll start to see is this movement in these different tour pros that I'm going to walk you through, and how it's very hard to see when people look at a swing, because we tend to look at it only in two dimensions, right? Just, straight face on, straight down the line, or maybe those two together. But reality, the swing is very much three-dimensional. And so this video will help you understand that. But the big thing I want you to understand is that if you can just get clockwise motion around the merry-go-round, and then right when you get that weight back to the big toe, you're ready to then release the club head, throw the hands, and that's when the motion switches very quickly to counterclockwise. And it's just in the release phase. Everything else, but that should be natural, right? Once your hands do this, and you'll see how it causes the club to set, how it causes you to maintain lag, how it causes the club to shallow out on plane. It's just natural. It's the weight of the club. You're not trying to make this thing move. You're letting the momentum and weight set everything. So now you naturally get into the squat to square position with the club in the right spot. And then as you drive off this right big toe, you wouldn't be able to keep the clockwise motion going, right? It'll naturally start to shift to a release. Does that make sense?
Wow, that totally makes sense. It's really nice because you do get stuck in the whole piece by piece by piece type of thinking, and then you get out to the range or you play, and it's like you got all this stuff going in your head. Like, I get here. This is nice. I love it. It's really, really cool. And something you can relate to. The guitar, the movement, the small movement of the foot. Anyone can do that. It's mind blowing. Kind of like that idea. That's perfect. That's really, really nice to start from something so small and then it's moving everything else. Wow.
That was what I was trying to achieve. How can I make it dynamic and athletic and more feel-based while still getting somebody to achieve the right positions throughout the swing? Obviously, the club has to be in a reasonable spot, the hands have to be in a reasonable spot, etc. But this way kind of forces all of those things to fall into place, but makes you athletic again. And it allows you to not, worry about the exact positions throughout the backswing. Nobody can do that and hit the ball very well. Your backswing thoughts are deadly anyway. But the bigger picture is if you realize that the swing has been taught backwards, it's typically everybody's focusing on rotating counterclockwise in the downswing, right? They're telling you to turn your chest. That's counterclockwise rotation. Turn your hips. It's counterclockwise rotation. I'm telling you, keep it clockwise until you're ready to get off the merry-go-round. And all that is, again, people are going to ask, like, well, I thought you're not supposed to drive off the right side. You can as long as you do it correctly. If you go to the top of your swing and then you push off your right glute, you are going to early extend and lose your posture, right? Mm-hmm. But if your weight moved around the perimeter of your foot, as you go back, your hip naturally gets deeper, right? So you increased spine angle a little bit. Your hip has gotten deeper, so you've maintained your posture. And then as you go and just drive off the right big toe. So again, all of your focus is not on your hips, your legs, your upper body. It's your foot, because it's so much simpler to think about and get everything to do what it needs to do. So as you get to the right big toe, you'll see I can drive quickly off my big toe and get a lot of speed, but I haven't lost my posture, right?
Nope.
That's how you do it quickly and athletically and dynamically, so that you can get that speed in there. So vortex generator, little tiny movement, gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you go up to the top. And then the hand, the Guitar Hero, as long as you've got that, you'll find that now instead of worrying about takeaway, if the club's going inside or whatever, what one of my test subjects found, for him, he made 20 degrees more rotation in his backswing than he ever has before. Because what I'm trying to get people to do is not twist their spine. I want your spine to be protected as much as possible throughout the swing. So what you'll find if you exaggerate this and you just kind of pick your arms up to start this clockwise circle, then all of a sudden, like here, I've just kind of started the clockwise circle, but look how far my shoulders have turned already.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel no strain, no tension. I'm not trying to load up so I can rotate counterclockwise, right? Where a lot of people do, and then their shoulders fire too soon, or you build tension in your arms and shoulders too soon and they fire over the top. Well, now my shoulders are relaxed because I don't care as much where they go. I care about the motion, right? I care about this clockwise circle. And as long as I do that, the club is going to be, it's not going to pull me out of position. It's going to actually pull me into position. So yes. You use that momentum and the inertia of the club to help you get your hands in the right spot and deep enough. And as long as you keep thinking about this clockwise motion, the club always flows throughout the right positions throughout the swing.
Yeah, so, I love that. That's such a good idea. It's athletic. Yeah, that's it. You like you said, football. I play football. I play little basketball, but you're ready. You're athletic. It's not movement. Your body just reacts, and that's why I like this is that's reacting. It's just not thinking, and that's awesome. So awesome.
Well, good. I'm glad you like it because it's taken me. I've lost a lot of hair over this thing. A lot of
Next time I see you, Chuck, you'll be like me here.
Exactly. Dude, it's been a lot of hard work. It's shocking how hard it is to take something complex and make it simple. It's really hard. It's really easy to make something simple and make it complicated. Going the other way is really hard. So I put a lot of effort and energy into this, hence the point for the NDA, because I seriously doubt you've ever heard anybody describe the golf swing this way.
No, never at all. Never. And it makes sense. You got to protect yourself. So I totally get that. It's wow. it's mind blowing to me because it's athletic, it's fluid, it's motion. It's not that's the best thing I can explain. It's not all this, like you said, it's okay, gotta get here, turn here, get there, get here. It's just like be an athlete, you know, just make the move and it'll come, you'll connect. So
exactly. It's the motion in the ocean, right? It's the motion
yes.
that allows the movement and the positions to occur naturally instead of trying to create the positions and then hoping a natural swing as a result of that. It doesn't work that way. It's backwards. You have to have the overarching motion. And the overarching motion, why I don't think anybody's ever thought of it this way or described it this way, is that we're all focused on rotation in the downswing, and it's counterclockwise rotation. And I'm saying that it's clockwise rotation. It's the opposite of what everybody else is saying. So I think that it's a conundrum. It's very different, but the results, all of a sudden you maintain your touch line, you increase your spine angle, you feel like you can use your legs, you feel like you can push without losing your posture, you feel like you can throw and hit with that right hand and get speed out of it. So to me, and those are things that as long as you do them correctly, you're not going to the top of your swing and then swinging straight over the top, throwing your arms, you can use all of those things. But I had to find a way to explain it in a simple way to get somebody to do what I wanted them to do. This was my solution. So
yeah, that guitar that's perfect, because who doesn't know about air guitar, right?
Right?
So that was just right, spot on.
So here's a couple of things with the air guitar move that I think that I again, I want your feedback on everything, right? I want you to go out, I want you to tinker with this, I want you to go in the mirror, I want you to hit balls and just see what you find, because my goal through this is to think about things that I wouldn't have thought about otherwise, right? I don't, my perspective on the swing is, convoluted with 30 years of studying it, right? So I take a lot of assumptions and things because I just assume people know things that I do because I only have one brain, right? So right. I want your brain to look at it from your own perspective and tell me like, oh, well, you know what? When I did it, I found that this was easier for me, or this was more natural, or I had more speed, whatever it is, or I'm not sure about what to do next, or I'm not sure how I should do this. So the feedback that I've gotten so far has been, one, that people make a bigger shoulder turn than they realize without even trying. So they don't have to try and turn their shoulders anymore because they get their arms moving in this clockwise circle, which gets your shoulders moving, which gets your rib cage moving. And so the rotation becomes very natural and very effortless. You don't have to try and rotate anymore. You'll also find, because of the dynamic setting of the club, because the club's moving in a big clockwise circle, it acts on this right wrist. So the club will really shallow out very easy. So if you've ever tried to shallow out your swing, this is going to be automatic. And as that result, instead of you taking the club and doing this, as you rotate this wrist in a clockwise circle, it creates lag and it makes it impossible to throw it away. So you won't find, if you've casted the club, and you won't find the tendency to want to do that. You'll find the opposite. You'll find like, I have more lag than I've ever had in my life very quickly. So that may be something that you'll find different. Speed-wise, the goal here is to reduce tension, especially in your arms and shoulders, so that instead of them firing out of sequence, they're soft until you get this little, like we talked about in the lesson, like the little forehand and table tennis, right? Like,
yeah,
there's a ton of speed in that. And that's kind of the feel. I feel that this overall pattern works a little bit better with focusing on getting the right hand to release. Craig, one of our instructors, he's got a really bad right shoulder. He's always been lead side dominant like myself. And so he feels that he can put this drill together with the left hand and get the left hand to help control. So you can release with either one. They both work. It's more of a feel thing. I was just trying to find a way to get the average person to speed up the learning process. And I think using their dominant hand is easier, but I'll be interested in your feedback on that as well. And just general thoughts, so here's what I will ask of you in return is that you're welcome to post in the community, but no details.
Okay. I'm not a poster, so you don't have to worry about that, Chuck.
Okay. You don't have to post.
Yeah.
But if you want to share, if you're interested or excited about it, and you want to tell people like, hey, this is really amazing, it's going to help you, you can post stuff like that, but no details. because you'll see this stuff is actually pretty simple, right? It's not hard to figure out. It's just completely counterintuitive. So, so I don't want anything like that out there yet, but you're welcome to share like experiences, right? If you have thoughts about, you know, hey, Chuck, I experienced this, or I'm not sure about that, to help me develop it, all I ask is that you just video it yourself, asking the questions, or sharing your positive thoughts or negative thoughts, either one. It's just easier for me, if, you know, even if you just do like a selfie or set your iPad up and like, hey, this was amazing, or hey, this is stupid, whatever it is. I just want it on video. It'll be more useful for me in the future, and then it's just easier for me to go through stuff. And then, you know, if you're trying to describe to me like, I don't know what to do next, or I don't know if this is right or whatever, you can demonstrate it in a video as well. But I want, you know, if you're excited and you're happy, I want that too. So that's all I ask.
Okay. Do you want me to like send it to you, like the feedback, like email, or do you want it on the community, or how would you?
Yeah. So we're setting up a private community page just for people in the touch group. It's not ready yet. It should be ready over the weekend. So in the meantime, just email it, but then I will put you in that private group, and you'll be able to post. Everybody that's going through the test program will be in there. So you guys will kind of all be in on the secret kind of thing. So you'll be able to share stuff together, and that will be where we post it in the future. Okay, perfect. I'm excited. This is exciting. I know, I'm sure you're excited too. A lot of hard work to put in it. So I can't wait to put it to work and see how it operates. So that's what I'm looking for. So my goal is to take you from, you know, wherever you are right now and build like a pretty quick, simple golf swing pretty fast, and then have you go out on the course and be able to use it. So before we close up here, if you wouldn't mind just doing a couple down the line for me, because I want you to do this, but take some of the exaggeration away, right? Like it's not going to be this big pelvic movement. How would you actually be able to hit a ball like this? So your arms aren't going to take this big circle, you know, it's going to be all much more subtle and small. So I would just love to see you try that a couple of times. So just kind of see what you do. So just kind of like dual golf swing with the whole. Yep. But you're just really focusing on your foot, right? Yep. So let me just get the feel again. Yeah, exactly. Get on the merry-go-round. You always get the feel back. There we go. You'll see it comes back pretty quick, right? It's pretty easy. Yeah, it is. Okay. There you go. Eddie Van Halen it. Yeah, you know, Eddie. Oh man, this is okay. Club. Make sure you get the right feel. Okay, all right. Through. Wow, this feels crazy. But I like it because it's so fluid. It's so awesome. Then you said don't do counterclockwise, right? Nope, no counterclockwise. You're only going to focus on clockwise rotation. And then when you go to get off the merry-go-round, you only focus on pushing off that big toe. Wow. So now let's make a golf swing like that. And just those swings are going to be, those movements are going to be much more subtle. And the movement around the right foot happens very quickly. Okay. But you don't obviously just go at the pace that you can focus on it right now. But the goal is to be able to go to full speed pretty quickly with this. Okay. There you go. You can see how the club wants to whip through the hitting area now? It does. It's like, holy cow. Wow. So speed won't be a problem. That's for sure. And this is why you see Matthew Wolff have a lot of speed, but he doesn't put a lot of stress on his body, right? Yeah. Crazy. It's whips through. It's like I'm not even like, it's really whipped through quick. Yep.
Oh man, yeah. And I'm hitting the ground at all the time on the same spot.
Exactly, because my belief has always been that the tour pros have always had an overarching movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's like throwing a ball or hitting a baseball, none of those things are 100% accurate. Golf is just unique. But the idea is that no tour pro learned like moving through chunks, right? They didn't learn to swing. They're just natural athletes. Well, that's not true. They naturally figured this out. I don't know how they naturally figured it out, but they did. And they all will move this way. And so the video that I'm going to send you a video of Jessica Korda. She's an LPGA player. And it's very easy as I walk you through this video to visualize what she's doing. And she has a phenomenal golf swing. But she's just one of many examples of the tour pros who do this that I just found it easy to see it in her swing for most people. So that will really help you see kind of how all of this stuff gels together, and you don't have to worry about anything else. You can just feel athletic and feel that quickness and feel how the divot bottoms out in the same spot because you're really just moving your foot and the arms are just going kind of where they go. It's more important that they move in a specific pattern than a specific position.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Wow, that's wonderful. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this. This is awesome.
I appreciate it. Does it make sense? Is it weird?
I think it makes sense to me. It's different for sure. Totally different. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't what I was expecting. But if that makes sense. But no, it's definitely different than I've ever been taught. But what I like about it, it's simple and it's fluid. It's athletic. And if I can bottom out every single time at the same, that's my biggest issue is like, because, like that fulcrum video you mentioned, I'm all over the place sometimes. And if I can do that all the time and feel, not thinking, just movements, it's great for me. It just puts me back where I feel like I'm an athlete. Okay, I can just let it happen, Awesome. So yeah, this is phenomenal. So I'm gonna definitely work on the foot movement, the small move. It just, to me, it's amazing how just your foot can move, just a little movement can move everything. And then including the club, really.
Yeah.
I felt when I was doing it that I wasn't even worried about the club because I was more focused on my foot.
Exactly.
And I love that. That's just, yeah. So I can't wait to get out.
Awesome.
Give it a shot. So yeah, for sure. I'm gonna probably sneak out of here now and finish up a little work and head out to the range and try it. So I'll definitely give you some feedback. But it's definitely different, Chuck, for sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Without a doubt.
It needs to be different because everything else that's been taught in the last 100 years isn't working.
Yep, exactly. That is so true because it's more confusing than anything. So I find it's not confusing. It's not where you're like, okay, wait a minute now, why is this and that? It's pretty much just move your body, move in this way, and everything else will flow. So to me, I think that's perfect. Now okay. I can get there. So yeah, so I'm excited, man.
I know you're chomping at the bit, so I'll let you go tinker with it. Give me your feedback for right now. We'll just do email. Do you mind if I use some of the things you said here just to kind of get people interested and excited?
Yeah. Yes. Whatever you need.
Thanks, buddy. Feedback. I'm going to send you the link to the video now or shortly, and I want you to watch that. I just want your overall feedback because my goal with this is to explain something in 10 minutes. I took 10 minutes to explain this thing to you. I could really do it in 5 if I didn't have to kind of give you some theory behind it, right? But
yeah,
the next video, what I'm trying to figure out next is like, what else do people need to understand? And the tour video is like reinforcement of these ideas. This isn't just some random crackpot theory. It's like, hey, this really is what the pros are doing. It's just most people don't recognize the movement for what it is. But the reality is if you actually want to recreate their movements and look like what they're doing, this is how you actually need to do it. So I'll be interested to see what you think of that video. Does it clarify things? Is there more you needed? What else would you like to see? So that's kind of stuff I'm looking for.
Okay, you got it.
All right,
good.
dude.
Thanks, Chuck. You're great, man. Appreciate you.
All right, buddy. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye.